So we're talking about silk reeling and spiral energy. So the silk reeling, or it's just kind of maintaining that first, but as you're turning and rotating and expanding and relaxing, right, and coming up, right, you have to hold that feeling, hold that thread while you're wrapping and letting go. So you constantly have that massage, right? That compression, release, compression, release, right? That compression, release, right? Compression, release. So you have physical massage and you have energetic massage of that feeling. Okay. So in the Dragon Gate Sanctuary system, the silk reeling, there's 4 basic forms, and it starts off with this, and this is the one that I use in the seated form, right? So this is what I use to replace the parry, because we're seated and we're just going side to side. I really like this instead of shooting forward and shooting forward. And you can see the silk reeling forms in here also. Okay, it's the same thing. It's circular this way. Right? It's continuous and circular this way. Okay, so seated or standing. If you're standing, it's a little wider stance, and you're going to shift from one side and shift to the other side. Right? If you're seated, you're just going to turn your waist and turn your waist, and you try and go 45 and 45. You want the palms. You want the palms, the center of the palm passing right over the center of the forearm, at least from the fingertip through the inside of the elbow, right, to get the 5 elements. Shoulders down, very relaxed, just swiveling. And then the bottom hand lifts a little. The other hand turns and shoots, and you drop the arm, right? Sink the arm and then turn. So standing or seated, right? So you notice when I lift, right, it's not a big body lift, although some of that plays sometimes as you shift and coming down. So if you're standing, you actually want to shift your weight. So if I'm standing and I want to turn, if I turn sideways, you can see I'm trying to go all the way side. So my hands actually pass center, and I'll step and I'll turn all the way 180, turn a little bit more so my arm will actually pass center, and then come back. Okay. But again, you do what's comfortable. So if it's not comfortable to turn all the way, you don't turn all the way. To force yourself to shift, lift your back leg a little and step. Try to keep your height the same. Right? When I step, they'll force me to shift all my weight. So you can feel yourself shifting. Drop your shoulder, keep your shoulders down, not too high. Right? And I like to vibrate my palms. I tell my students, vibrate your palms, vibrate your fingers. Teach yourself vibrating palms from here. Relax your upper body. Just feel like you're pulling that thread one way, and when you transition, you can't let it go. Right? You have to maintain that feeling, that silk reeling feeling. Turn from the Tantin. Yeah, from here. When you come here, it lifts and drop your shoulder and then turn. So in the silk reeling, right, you're washing through the 5 elements from the tip of the fingertips through the elbows, the inside of the elbow. The center of the palm is heart, right? Heart and fire. So that's flushing. You're flushing through all the 5 elements. Okay. So this is the basic movement, just going back and forth. And oh yeah, always all these movements, you could spend a lot of time in one movement. As you're doing this, relax your shoulders, right? Turn and shift. Okay, that's the basic. Okay, so then the next part is not just moving energy, but you want to move blood, you want to activate the lymphatic system. So to really start moving the lymphatic system, you get the circulation moving, is the shifting. So you get it more in the standing, of course, because you can sit back. But even in the chair, I can still kind of shift to one side and then draw back, right? And sit and shift and draw back. Standing, I'll see a bigger movement, but in the chair, she can still, she comes here, yeah, you can still kind of shift her weight to her right butt, and then she comes down. Oh, sorry, your left hip. Our 3-year-old says derriere, so her right derriere and then her left derriere. Okay. Oh, she poked me in the butt the other day, yeah? She poked me in the derriere the other day. Okay, so, and what you want to do is, so you have to think about this a little bit, but as you're coming here, you're sitting back. So the big shift in moving the lymphatic system comes by sitting back here and turning and then sitting back. Yeah. It took me a while to figure it out, and I probably still switch back and forth. Yeah. So you really have to think as you come in here, sitting back. Right? So I'm shifting and I'm sitting back. Yeah. And I'm sitting back. But relax the shoulders, let everything fall. This movement right here always reminds me of hula. I'm totally convinced, and I've had some confirmations that there is such a connection between the Chinese medical Qigong and the Polynesian culture, the Polynesian medicine and the internal, and it shows up all over the place. So sitting back and drawing, right? And then sitting back and drawing, right? So again, in the chair, same thing, right? I still can shift to one side, right? So I can sitting back and sitting back. So you're shifting on the chair, make sure you don't fall off the chair. Yeah. Yeah. So you can see in the chair, I'm taking a wider stance because of the shifting that I'm doing from there, yeah? And relax. When this comes up, it just comes up and drops in place. Comes up and sweeps and drops in place, right? Comes up and sweeps and drops in place. My shoulders don't go up and down. My head doesn't go up and down. Yeah, I'm there. It can be more expressive, a little bit more dance, so you can see a little figure 8 sometimes, a little bit more up and down movement, but just really subtle. It's from the turning, okay? So basic movement is just back and forth, but with that, okay? So as you come here, one of the modifications is the hand can come all the way up to the shoulder, turn and scoop from the underarm, so you're catching the whole arm, all the way up here and the whole arm. So let me turn a little bit so you can see where it ends up, right? All the way up here, and you can see this hand sweeping. I can actually kind of brush my shoulder. So as I turn, it opens and it scoops from under, and then it turns, right? All the way, washing all the way up through the shoulder joint and scooping under the arm. As you come up to the shoulder joint, be careful you're not rising your shoulder, but it's turning and dropping. So if I sit back, I get more of that lymphatic movement. Yeah. Okay. So it can come all the way up. So you're washing, and this is related to like bone marrow washing. You're washing energy through all the joints. If you had a lot of bruises or you really beat up your arm, this is a really nice way to move the qi through the muscle tissues, through the bone, through the joints, through the ligaments, tendons and ligaments. Right? Okay. So if you come all the way to the shoulder, you can see where my palm could turn up and it could actually lightly brush and cut across my body. Right? So it would come here and it's actually touching my body from here to here, because this is the next part of the movement. Okay, so from this basic movement of going back and forth, shooting palms, might be the only move I remember what it's called. So the basic shooting palms is your basic warm up, warm down. You can use a transition. From here, you turn that palm up, and as you turn your waist, it travels with you up here. Okay, so the hand's going to sweep out, and then it comes up and comes across. Now, as you're turning, you want to turn your palm. Okay, so as I'm turning my waist, my palm is turning towards me, okay? And then it drops down into place, okay? And it changes. So if I have two hands, I'll do a shooting palm, 1, 2, and a third shooting palm, a light pause, this hand comes up, the bottom hand, the palm turns up and just rests lightly against my body, and as I turn, my top hand rotates and cuts across, okay? And the bottom hand draws across the body a little bit. It's the turn of the waist that will cause these movements. So as I'm turning and I end up here, or end up on this side, okay? So I come up and two hands are lightly moving, but it's really the turn of my body. And then I switch. So my left hand is up, my right hand is on the bottom. As I turn, my top hand turns, and my right hand ends up on my hip. And then I switch, and I turn. Okay? So if I want, I can be sitting back while I do that. I add that lymphatic movement. Sit back and turn. And as you turn, you can feel how the turn starts to move the palms and the arms for you. Yeah. And just breathe normally. Main thing you're breathing. Okay. Yeah. So while you're learning these drills, just go back and forth. Right? Always come back to just a basic shooting palm. And get yourself turning all the way. Practice sitting back on the turn, turning, sitting on the back leg. So that coiling and wrapping slowly start to generate and come out. Okay, and then you switch to the next movement where the hand comes up, the bottom hand cuts across the body, and just switches. As the bottom hand comes out, just the fingertips come out. See, you start to see that element of the teacups, right, with the bottom hand. Right? So the bottom hand's going to come across and just kind of teacup, right, just the fingertips, right there. Oh, sorry, I'm blocking out my girlfriend. Okay. So, just evolving through this is a lot, right? Okay. So this just keeps building and building until you get to the whole movement. So, right? The concept, the silk wheeling, center of the palm passing over the center, fingertip, at least through the elbow or all the way up. And then it can start flushing all the way and coming all the way through, and then it can start cutting across the body. Right? So I could come up here, could come all the way up here, and slide all the way across this way. So instead of coming down here, it could come from the shoulder. Right? Come all the way over here. Right? You turn a little sideways, I think you can see it. Yeah. So it's not stuck to one place. It's not stuck to one place, right? But always ends with that little fingertip. Okay. So yeah, today we'll just look at the shooting palms and how it develops. Okay. So then the bottom hand, as you turn, the more you turn, face this way. If I don't turn, right, it just comes to the side. But the more I turn, then the fingertips actually start reaching the back. Right? So if it comes to the back, then it dives down and I can massage my kidneys. Just kind of circle here. My thumbs will be on the inside, my index finger and thumbs. So if I'm sitting back and I'm turning, it'll shoot down and it'll scrape right in this pocket. Okay? So it'll look like this. And if you can see it, my hands will come out. Let's see if the video settles down, and it'll come out that way. So I'll come here. I'll turn so I can get back. The thumb is on the inside. Drop my shoulder, elbow down, and then it comes through my waist. So as it comes through my waist, you can see that I'm scraping a little bit and rising. And then eventually I'm going to add this spiral. So as I rise, I'm going to spiral up, and then I'm going to drop my shoulder and I'm going to give a little palm slap. The palm would just drop. So drop, yeah, you just have to drop everything. Yeah, it's just kind of like tapping something. So, you know, it would be here. It's going to stay close to the body. I'll spiral up, turn the palm, drop the shoulder, drop the palm. And then I'll do the movement again. So it would look, let me turn a little 45, right? So I start with the basic, and then I lift my hand, cut on the bottom, right? And then cut from the shoulder, and then turn a little bit, and then scoop up, cut across, and scoop up. And then as I'm here, oops, where's my video? Sorry, videos. Come here, turn a little bit more, come here. As I turn, the hand will scoop down, and then I'm going to shift all the way coming up to double palm, and then I'm going to shift to the other side. Then I'll go back into the silk reeling. So yeah, there's no one good angle yet to show everything. So I'll try to go 45. So come here, come up, and turn. This hand is going behind me, scooping up. I'm facing my left. This drags the other hand. I turn, drop my shoulder blades. I give a little palm, and then I continue. I come here and turn, catch the back, and drill and lift, and turn and tap. And then I'm going to transition and come right up from here and tap. Okay, I'll face this way, right? Every angle I face, and you can see just kind of like one other part, right? So this is my plane right over here, right? So my basic silk reeling, and then I'm going to lift up, and from here I'm going to turn. It's going to scoop down. I'm going to drop. It's going to rise right in that plane, right? This is sideways, tap, and then lift the top hand, and then switch, go the other way, and turn, catch my kidneys, my left hand's dropping, both hands rise right on that plane, and then double palm, and then turn. So seated or standing. Seated, not as easy to get as much rotation, but you can still do the basic in here, right? So this is front, this is back, right? So you could think north, south, right? I'm facing you on the east-west plane. drill down, rising and down. Okay? And then the shooting palm, and then rising, lift, and drop. Yeah. So as we advance the movement, that spiral energy really starts to come out with the silk reeling. So as I'm coming down here, actually, I'll show you where this comes from. It actually comes from here, drilling down and coming up here. So this is from the Bagua. This is from one of the Bagua palms where you come out and they walk circle, but it comes out from here. As you turn, everything turns and it drills down actually underneath, rising all the way up from here, lifting. There you go. So this comes out of the internal. Okay. So anyway, as you turn the waist, right? So as you turn the waist and this palm turns. So you don't want to do this by itself. Right? So I'm coming out. As I'm turning, this turns. It scrapes. It drags the bottom hand up with it. Right? It pulls this up. And you want to drill and lift. And then keep the shoulders in, relaxed. Every spiral is tight in the center. And then just give a little palm. It's a little tap. Let all that energy go. Right? Because you're lifting and winding. And right? Let it go. And then start again. Drilling down. Then lifting tight. Winding. And And then again, coming the other side. Drilling, lifting, shoulders down, elbows down, let it go, and let everything go, and then start again. So I'll show you in the chair. Okay. Chair would be the same thing. Right? Just not easy to turn all the way like this. Right? So, chair, right? Turn as much as I can. Come in here, kind of lift one side up, right? To really shift my weight. Still drills up and down. And the other side, right in the center. Elbows tight to the body. So you feel all of this turning and come out, wiggling and down. Yeah. You can try that. As you rise, kind of turn, and down. Let everything go. Yeah. Drilling up, turn your waist, turn, and then release. So when you release, just let everything go. Right? Feel everything come out. And there's a little snake energy coming up, right, as you're spiraling up and releasing, lightly holding that silk reeling tension and then letting it go. And when you let it go, you don't slack. You're still in silk reeling, right? Just almost releasing and then start again. Never, even though we say let it all go, right? There's that connection, there's that stickiness to it. Right? Turning. Turn the waist, right? Turn. Yeah. So you can stay seated. I just want to show you that turn, right? So as I turn, that comes out. As I turn, it comes in. So as I'm rising, spiraling up, right? I'm using the turning my dantin like a gear to drill my hand up. So this has to be relaxed, elbow down, shoulders down, shoulder blades down. It's coming from my dantin through my spine out to my fingertips. So turn. Yeah. So I'm not the finger, it's an interesting concept because you feel like just the fingertips are being pulled out. So you're almost chasing your fingertips, but it's being driven with your mind, and it's being driven mechanically from the Tantin. So coiling and uncoiling, wiggling, 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 wiggling to uncoil, and then just relaxing, right? Then wiggle, 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 and relaxing, right? And so although if you do it simply, you see one turn, right, and down, and one turn and down. Really, it's depending on how you comfortable are in doing these spirals, right? It could be, it could be a lot of turns, and you just shake and vibrate out. So to develop that, you have to turn. You have to force it to come out until it becomes natural, and you don't think about it, and then it just starts to, as you release it, one day you're doing it and you can feel like, wow, think it's moving by itself, and just let it go. Just do it. And then sometimes it's like, oh, how come it doesn't come out? And then you start it and then it just comes out. So, right, don't get too caught up by these rules. But you know, it feels like it's coming out, and then it's spiraling out, and then relaxing, and then it's like it's almost tightening up, and then it's spiraling out, and then it's relaxing, letting go, and then it's starting again, and then relaxing and coiling in. Yeah. Okay. So seated or standing. Seated or standing. We'll just kind of review that. What time is it? 2:38. Okay. So this is called shooting palms. It's the first of a series of 4 or 2. Maybe I'm showing you the 2. Okay, so the basic thing is turning as much as you can, and the center of the palms passing through the center of the arms. Relaxing and just feeling that light connection with the palms and arms through the shoulders, through the whole body, right? The whole body is connected. It's like a web. Every point of the web is connected. Right? If you touch one point of the web, that's how the spider works, right? Doesn't matter where the vibration comes from, because it's evenly distributed throughout the whole body. So when that prey lands on any part of the web and sends out that vibration, the spider knows exactly where it's coming from. Yeah. So vibrate your palms, vibrate your fingers, create vibrating palms, vibrating fingers, right? And then when you're ready, you're going to lift one hand, right? And bottom hand's going to cut through the bottom belt channel. Right? And don't be afraid to just switch back and forth. The structured drills are good, but at some point you just have to kind of let go and do what you want to do, and then come back to the structured drills, right? Yeah. If you're standing, let that back leg go, right? Force yourself, even if it's small, take that small step, right? And then slowly try to get that teacup to come in. Right, as you turn, get that teacup to come in, scooping, massaging the kidneys. Even if you can't get all the way back, you still want to scrape and massage, right? And start lifting and drilling, and then tapping. So I do this with my students. This is I do this with my Lanakila students. Yeah. And I show them where it comes from. I like to show where it comes from if I know, so they understand the source of it. And this is not something I just made up on my own. I may have modified it on my own a little bit to match the situation. But it's really nice to see roots, yeah, to see where things come from. Yeah. Right? And then, yeah, take some time, even if you just have to do the basic, try sitting back, and that'll give you that lymphatic pump. all the joints have to move, and all the joints have to move. Yeah. Okay. So we'll run through the series and how I do it for the seniors. And this is just an excellent warm up and warm down, right? Turning and turning. So you can see whatever amount of movement that you can afford, you can do it. It doesn't matter if they're in the wheelchair, walker, sitting, standing. And I'm not being facetious, but if they're missing a limb, they can still do it. Yeah. If one doesn't work, they can still do it. And I'm talking in general, on any given day, what my population might look like in class. So it's a really interesting thing. And because you're trying to teach people to use the E, right? The first thing is like, oh, I don't have left arm, right? I cannot do it. No, you imagine you're still doing it, right? So even if you don't have left arm, that right arm is still doing a lot of movement. You just imagine, because it's the intent. And you know, from research, there's always phantom arm, phantom leg, and things. So it's the intent, right? Removing the blockage, removing that psychological, emotional blockage. Oh, I don't have. Oh, you just imagine it's there. You imagine what you're doing. Follow, watch, right? Imprint that until it turns around to you're doing it. Okay. So so just one more time. Just take you through the basic, right? Side to side, palm over center. Try to turn all the way, and then try to sit back if you can. You're sitting back, you get more of that circulatory movement, lymphatic movement. Right? Lymph nodes help to keep us healthy. That's part of our immune system, right? Capturing and flushing out all the bacteria and such, right? And then raising the palm and cutting through the bottom. And top hand turns the whole time, and turning the waist, turning the dantian, moves and drills the arms. And then get that little teacup going and rising. Get that little teacup massaging the kidneys and rising, and then tapping. Yeah. And this would be the whole movement. Right? So from the basic shooting palms, so this actually might be the second movement I'm showing you, first and second movement, but they go right together. Yeah. So if you're flexible, right, you could turn all the way, right? You could stay on the back leg, you could squat down a little bit and then come up and spiral up, right? Kind of scraping a little, right? So just whatever is comfortable for you. Yeah, and then, so relax. Everything has to be loose. Take your time and such, okay? All right, I'm going to, just for the video's sake, I'm going to end over here. And then after I turn off the video, I'll show you more of the silk reeling, just to kind of show you where it comes from. But for the video's sake, we'll end here. Too bad for you guys watching the video. Gotta watch the next one. Okay, so come up and down, and then just warm down, just do shooting palm side, just turn the waist, relax, just relax. Don't be so concerned about intensive silk reeling, just let everything vibrate and relax. Keep the shoulders down, arms down, feel the joints swiveling. Right, as you turn, the top hand folds in, the bottom hand folds out. Okay, all right. Bring everything back. Breathing in, extending the legs, loosening the hip. Right, getting everything nicely aligned again, spine straight up. Back of the head pulling up a little bit. Bottom of the feet sinking into the earth. The center, the hips, pelvic joints totally relaxed. Rest your hands on your lap, palms facing up or down, whatever's comfortable for you. Close your eyes. Just feel your belly moving. Let all tension go. Check your jaw, your shoulders. Move your joints around if you have to discover if they're locked. Okay, slowly open your eyes. Yeah, rub your hands, warm up your eyes, do all of this. I'm going to turn off the video.